Getting started, what is HTML? Well, according to Wikipedia, HTML, or Hypertext Markup Language, is a standard markup language used to create web pages, and that's very true. But HTML is more than just that. HTML is not actually a programming language. A lot of people think it is. It's actually considered a markup language. Now, markup languages consist of tags, also known as elements. They have opening and closing tags, they have attributes. HTML is used on every single web page. If you've ever gone to Twitter or Facebook or Google or really any website, even websites that have Flash on them, such as YouTube, it still uses HTML to embed that Flash in there. And the latest version of HTML is called HTML5. But to sum all of this up, HTML is really the backbone structure of how everything is designed on a web page. To get started editing HTML, all you need is a basic text editor. You don't need anything fancy. Really, all you need is something that can save and edit text files. The most common program is Notepad, and that comes with pretty much every Windows system that's been published in the last 15, 20 years. But you're going to want something a little bit more advanced, something with a little bit of syntax highlighting. And my recommendation is go with something free that's really robust, is very versatile, has some basic syntax highlighting in there, and you can use it on pretty much every system. I highly recommend using Notepad++, and you can download that by going to notepadplus.org. I'll put the link below, and if you simply click on their download page, you'll be able to download it depending on the format that you want. Most people will just take the installer, and if you have a very strong programming background, this is also open source. So you can modify it, make your own plugins, use other people's plugins, and customize the utility that Notepad++ offers you. Now my suggestion is stick with something that has syntax highlighting. It doesn't have to be Notepad++. It can be any other program that you are familiar with, that you're happy with using, but I would really prefer if you got something with syntax highlighting. And what that is this coloring that you see in this image here, where there's blue curly brackets, while is blue, true is blue. The comments are a different color as well. It color codes your code for you. Now, this doesn't seem very important when you're only working with 100 or 200 lines of code, but when you eventually start working with massive projects that have 5, 10, 15, 20,000 lines of code in just one file, this is really, really going to help you out. But again, you can use any program you like as long as you can save it as a text file. That's just a .txt. And you can always change that extension to .html.
In HTML, we use something called an element to display our content. An HTML element typically starts with an opening tag and ends with a closing tag with your content in between. Now here's a couple of examples of what I mean. You have an opening tag, and this is not a real one, with your example content, and a closing tag. Now what a closing tag has is it's basically the exact same as your opening tag, but after your first hard bracket there, you've got a slash. So as an example again, we've got an opening paragraph tag, a paragraph content, and then closing tag. And just one more, we have an anchor. A is the link, that's the link element. And then our link text, which is what it'd show up as, and that's what you would click to bring you to this page. We'll do links more in the future. And then our closing tag. And again, this is just how you write it. So you got opening, content, closing, your opening, and then content and closing. Now if we look at the elements that make up an HTML page, we have our doc type HTML. This is the HTML5 standard. Always use this. And to use anything older, there's not really any point anymore since HTML5 is the new standard. So this is going to be first line on every HTML page that you ever write. Next is your HTML element, the opening tag. Then you have your head, closing head, and all your heading stuff will go in between, obviously, the head element. And same thing with your body. You got an opening and a closing one, and everything that you want displayed goes into your body. So think of it like this. All the brains and all the smarts of your web page go into the head tag. So think of the head as your brain, and it holds all the smart details, everything that it needs to operate the body. And the body is where you put all your organs or your abs, where you want everything to be displayed. There are some elements that you don't put any content inside. For example, a line break, which is this. You got your BR, and this is your opening and your closing right there. Horizontal rule, which is just HR, and an image. And an image is highly reliant on attributes, and we'll cover attributes a little more in class in the future, real soon. As a good general rule, write all your elements in lowercase. In HTML4, it is recommended, and in XHTML, what we're currently writing right now, it is necessary. And just remember, always, always, always close your elements. Think of it like a light bulb. You turn it on when you use it, and you turn it off when you're done with it.